The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Money's coming to me. Money's coming to me.
All the disinformation, right? Over Kabul and what they're doing over there. But that's not the only place where you get disinformation. You get disinformation from the fake business news network, disinformation, which is very dangerous, from our Federal Reserve. That's real dangerous because that's what controls our economy. It's unbelievable. You know, it's interesting. There's going to be this meeting at the end of this month at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And what are they going to discuss? The state of our economy. And what they're going to discuss is, should they raise rates by tapering all that money they've been printing? You know, they've been printing $125 billion a month for the past 156 months. And when they started to print it, they said it was transitory. So after 156 months, I guess it's still transitory? What are you, nuts? Raising rates right now in this economy is dumb. The only people that have money are the ones who benefit from the Federal Reserve, the top 1% of the population, and of course our owners, the 1/100% of the population. They are the only ones benefit. That's the purpose of the Federal Reserve. They're the ones who are supposed to benefit. That's why it was set up. So they're talking about tapering, raising rates. Why is it dumb? Because you don't cause rates to increase in an environment like we have. At a time, the national debt is at an all-time high. You can't taper and then increase rates at a time when we have non-stop stimulus enhancement check programs, plus that $300 per child. Now, that's what they're calling when they're saying, oh, boy, people got a lot of money. Yeah, and they're running down the stores because we don't have any productivity because we're keeping the people out of work. So, therefore, they're not producing goods. And I don't know about you, but when I go to the supermarket, go to get paper towels or anything else, there's always a shortage of everything. I always have to ask the guy in the store, do you have any more of these? Do you have any more? Oh, no, it's a shortage. That's because of this stimulus enhancement check that this idiot just said, boy, people have a lot of money. That's killing us. They don't have a lot of money. They have a lot of debt, but the stimulus money they got, okay, that's just it's unbelievable. That's what he's talking about. So to taper, which will raise rates, when we have all this stimulus enhancement going on, is nuts. Or when you lack full employment. It's always been a rule with the Federal Reserve. Never to raise rates when there's full employment. Well, guess what? If they're going to raise rate, they always say wait to have full employment before you raise rates. That's their mandate. They can't raise rates until they have full employment. They don't have full employment. We still have 7 million people who aren't working. And by the way, we got 7 million people who are on these enhancement checks. This is crazy. But here's the other problem with the full employment, why we don't have full employment. We got, when you have every week 350,000 to 400,000 people signing up for unemployment, that's a recession. Anything over 350 plus is a recession. But they're not going to tell you that. You can't taper and increase rates when consumer confidence is collapsing. Check it out. Home builder confidence is now dropping. You can't raise rates. You can't taper to raise rates when you continue with a policy at the same time of print and spend instead of increasing productivity. This is crazy. So if they raise these rates by tapering, it's going to hurt the very people that they pretend to want to help. Main Street workers. What are you, nuts? Not going to help them. It's going to make it worse for them. This Federal Reserve is a joke. I got to tell you one thing about the Federal Reserve that really I thought about this weekend. Think about it. All last week and all this weekend, what a wake-up call. Think about it. About disinformation. Think about, we have an elected body in Washington putting forward disinformation on the exit strategy at the airport all last week and over the weekend. Now, this was an elected body who's doing that, giving us disinformation. Now, why would we be so lucky to think our country's owners who control the Federal Reserve, they are unelected. They're an unelected body. Why do you think they would give us honest information? What are you, nuts? Why would we be so lucky to think that? If elected body is lying to us and give us disinformation, why will our owners who control the Federal Reserve, why would they not give us disinformation? Of course they do. They're not going to be honest. And here's the thing. They're unelected. So of course they're going to give us any information that benefits them. Now remember, these are the people who control 20% of the world's wealth. Our owners, the 1/100th of 1%. They make up just a fraction of our population. And think of what they control. They also control the 6 remaining fake business news networks that disseminates all this fake information about the state of the economy. This is the same unelected body who has no oversight at all. No oversight. Not even by Congress. Not by Congress. Here, listen to what Alan Greenspan said about the Federal Reserve and oversight.
The Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule.
Can you imagine? You got unelected people who are running the Federal Reserve, the wealthiest people in the world, and not even Congress can audit them or question them. And when they did, listen to this.
It seems that the Fed can't even be touched by investigating parties.
So I'm asking you if your agency has, in fact, according to Bloomberg, extended $9 trillion in credit, which, by the way, works out to $30,000 for every single man, woman, and child in this country. I'd like to know, if you're not responsible for investigating that, who is?
We have responsibility for the Federal Reserve's programs and operations, audits, to conduct audits and investigations in that area. In terms of who's responsible for investigating, would you mind repeating the question one more time?
Mr. Chairman, my time is up, but I have to tell you honestly, I am shocked to find out that nobody at the Federal Reserve, including the Inspector General, is keeping track of this.
Can you imagine? There's an Inspector General for every agency. They're supposed to track them. There's no Inspector General. There's an Inspector General, but they can't do anything. They don't oversee anything. They don't know anything. It's unbelievable. And these are the people who are controlling you, controlling me, controlling our economy, that's making us debt slaves. Because by making us debt slaves, they prosper. And we're going to let them make a decision in Jackson Hole. I hope they fall off a mountain. We'll be right back after this break. PhilsGang.com. Join my gang free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to PhilsGang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at PhilsGang.com. going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Thinking about investing in the stock market? Go to philsgang.com, where we have over 50 years experience in trading and investing in the stock market. Phil's Gang teaches you how to make profits in the market with stock chart analysis, up-to-the-minute alerts, and always keeping you informed with professional guidance in long and short-term positions. Go to philsgang.com or call one of our professional staff to answer your questions. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Stop wondering about your financial future and start doing something about it.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed, because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere, because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Hope you're listening to my YouTube channel. If you are, please hit subscribe, like, and share. Now, the reason we're talking about the Federal Reserve, because there's going to be this big meeting, and they're talking about tapering. So for 150 some odd months, they've been printing money. Can you imagine this? Over 150 months, printing money, and to make sure that the stock market keeps going up. How do they do that? By printing money, buying treasuries to keep interest rates low, called QE, to push the stock market up. Now, they talk about buying on dips. Here, listen to this.
So look what we learned last week. We had a wobble and we came straight back. And we shouldn't be surprised because the market conditioning is so strong to buy on dips.
Okay. You got to be very careful when you're buying on a dip. You got to make sure you're in the strongest groups. That's right. Make sure you got stocks. You're in a group that has relative strength. What does that mean? Well, here's what I do for all my members. Our team here, myself and Steve, we will go through a group of stocks and we'll take the strongest group. Like right now, if you look at the strongest ETFs, you'll see that the strongest ones are your XLV. Okay, that's one of the, here, I'll give you a list of the strongest ones you got right now are XLV, and that's that's our healthcare, okay, and that's a very, very strong sector, all right. Utilities are very strong. Why? Because, well, they like low yields, low interest rates. Now, you don't have to remember any of this because we do this, if you're a member, we do this for you, so you even got to think about it. So what we'll do is we'll stick to those strong categories. And we know if they're strong or not based on what the yield is doing, the 10-year Treasury yield. So it's fine. Look, any market, when it goes up, you should have the confidence to stay with that market, even though you know a correction's coming, even though you know a crash is coming. I mean, this market is so overpriced, it's unbelievable. You know it's going to have one hell of a correction. And if you don't believe that, then you got to be on the moon or somewhere. You're not paying attention. When stocks become 290, a company, a market cap, or the worth of a company is 290% of 209% of the economy, when it should be like, I don't know, 50% of the economy, that's crazy. Or when PE ratios are at 37, should be 15. That's insane. But it doesn't matter. If you're in the stock group that where the money is going, now this is the whole thing. You've got to follow the money. Don't listen to the fundamentals of a stock. There's no more fundamentals. Nobody buys stocks. Big pros do not buy stocks based on the fundamentals of the company, what they are doing, what they're building, what they're merging with. Nobody cares. We've been printing this money for 13 years. That's what pushes up the market, not profits. Printing and spending has been pushing up this market, creating incredible inflation, made debt slaves out of all of Main Street. And that's how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So if you find, for example, XLU, now that's an ETF, it's doing terrific, then you buy it. But you only can have that confidence to buy it if you got the same confidence in selling it short as you do buying. That's the key to being successful. That's why 85% of the people lose money in the market, because they don't have that confidence. Think about it. 85% of the people lose money in the stock market because they never learned how to make money, or called shorting a stock, when a market goes down. It's okay to buy on a dip as long as you put in what we call a stop. It's like an insurance policy. You wouldn't own a home without an insurance policy, would you? No. Would you own a car without insurance? No. You shouldn't own a stock without insurance. It's an insurance policy. You just put in what they call a stop. So if it drops any further than you want, you elect, then you're out. So as long as you have a stop in, and as long as you have the skill that you see the market coming back, Well, you need something else. You got to identify in advance, when is that market coming back? If I'm in a stock and I'm going up and I'm up 10, 15%, I need something to tell me that the money that's been pushing that stock up is starting to reverse and starting to come out. Well, I have a chart that does that, and you don't have to believe it. I'll give it to you for 10 days free. The technology is a color-coded technology. The algorithms are set so that when the stock is going up, it's green. And then when it turns yellow, it's telling us Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the hedge funds, the big insurance companies are pulling money out of my stock or out of my ETF. Isn't it nice to know? You don't have that on your chart because this chart is patented. It's color-coded. Because that's the one thing I learned out of being in this market for 51 years. The people who don't know how to make money when the market's going down, or put it this way, the people who don't have that confidence that say, you know what, I don't really care if the market's going up or the market's going down. In fact, I like it that way. I like to see the market go down because I make much more money on the way down. It's faster. That's right. Stocks go down 10 times faster than they go up because on the way up, everybody's taking profits. So the stock market keeps stalling up, goes up and stalls. But on the way down, people panic and they're getting out, what we call pulling their bid out, and it goes straight down. If you could just get that confidence, and that's what we do here. If you can just have that confidence, say, you know what, I don't care anymore what's going on in the economy, because I could care less if the market's going up or down, because I'm going to make the same amount of money if it goes up or down. But people who enter a market and God depend on buying on a pullback to make money, what are you, nuts? All these people who are running to Robinhood and that's fine, not putting Robinhood down, who are buying a quarter of a stock, what are you, nuts? This is not a casino. Quarter of a stock. At least know what you're doing if you don't buy a quarter of a share. You know how to sell a stock short when it goes down. That's the problem. People they're scared or something. This is crazy. More when I get back. Join my gang, free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy is going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
I signed up, and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum-level service and stock recommendations. You know, it's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert. It says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night. You don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month? philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grande and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Getting you.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, we were with our gang, with our members. I've had them in the last 2 weeks following two tourist stocks that everybody's in. Microsoft and Apple. What's that mean? Well, that means that these people who are coming to the market very late, who are told buy on the pullback, don't know what they're doing, they'll go right to the tech stocks. Now, they have no idea what affects Microsoft or Apple, what makes it go up, what makes it go down. They have no idea what is the catalyst that the big institutions, they're the only ones who can drive it up or down. What is the catalyst for them pulling money out, which drives it down? What's the catalyst putting money in that they put money in to drive it up? It's the yields. It's the yields. When yields are low, then tech stocks, that's a great environment, and they go up. When yields are high, they come out of the tech stocks and they go into banks, and they go into healthcare stocks, etc. So Microsoft, I told everybody the other day, I said, keep watching the Qs. That's the 100 best stocks, tech stocks. And I said, it's got to break above 370. If you buy Apple, now we own Apple, we own a little bit of Microsoft. We don't know a lot. We have a scout on it. And Microsoft broke out the other day. Okay, it broke out on Thursday, and then she started to go up on Friday, and she's up just a very little bit today. But we're not adding a lot to that stock because the Qs, these are the 100 best tech stocks, are not breaking out. That means you're out there by yourself. So if you're buying Microsoft or Apple and you have any good size of shares on that, you got to be crazy, because until the Qs get above 370, and if you're happier in Microsoft, and let's say it went from 294 to 304, and you're really happy and excited, and you jumped in it on, let's say you bought a whole bunch of it on Friday, that's a mistake. Until you know that the NASDAQ 100 group, the QQQs, you got to wait for that to break out first, and that will support it. Now, we also know, because our color-coded chart, and I'm going to switch to it right now, which gives us a warning, okay, a call to action. I'm going to click it right now, and I'm going to move it right here. Okay, all right, and right now, the Qs have a warning. Now, if you have a mobile device, you can go to my site, philsgang.com, and you'll see the color change. See how it turned to yellow? Well, that tells my members who have my charting, and again, you get this for 10 days free. If you think I'm full of crap, check it out for 10 days. You'll see it's the absolute truth. See how it turned yellow? So that's telling me I don't have to get out, but it's warning me if I got 500 shares on, I better get down to, maybe 100 shares or less. Now, if I go and I look at Microsoft, okay, and I got the same tool on, which nobody has. This is patent. Now, Microsoft hasn't turned yellow yet. So even though Microsoft broke out, and it's been up for the last 2 days, and it's not yellow, it's telling you that stock's pretty strong. It's got some good volume. But the problem is the wrong kind of volume. It's what we call tourist volume. So that's really important now. Even though it's up, most people are going to jump in and buy and put a lot of shares on, not knowing, because the Qs are not above 370. That's what we call, Microsoft is what you call a risk on trade right now. It's out there by itself. You got all these speculators buying it because they don't know what they're doing. We own it. We're not going to get out of it. We don't have a lot of shares on it. But the day that the Qs break out and we have a lot of volume, then I will be instructing my members to go ahead and to add to it. But the problem right now, the Qs have turned yellow, telling us, and it's starting to go lower, telling us money's coming out of the best stocks in the world, the NASDAQ 100 stocks. Now, I know nobody does this for you. This is what we do all day for our members, especially for what we call our working investor group, who they don't have time to go to class. I mean, we start classes. Okay, we start our coffee talk. I'm done my coffee talk between 7:30 and 8:30. Okay, I do about 15 minutes of coffee talk, sometimes 20 minutes. Get everybody started, so I could tell them what. Because again, I'm here at 3:30. Start watching the market at 4 in the morning. See what Europe doing, what the bonds are doing in Europe, and so forth. And it gives me a good idea. So when I give them my coffee talk, I can give them a good idea what's going to move, what's not going to move. And so now we know that, okay, so now we know that the Qs are in trouble. They're starting to pull back. So we're not, now if I go down and I look at the other tech stocks and see how are they doing compared to the banks. Because you got to always compare your tech stocks with your bank stocks. Because remember, tech stocks, the ones you love, the ones you are addicted to, okay, the addiction, I know the addiction is terrible on these, okay, the ones you're addicted to, you got to make sure, okay, that remember, this is where the action is, the banks and the tech. And they're fighting with each other right now with the yields. Because the problem is the yields aren't high enough to be in Microsoft and Apple or in Facebook, okay, they're not high enough, and the bank, aren't low enough, and the bank stocks, the yields aren't high enough. So here's we got a situation: the yields are not low enough to buy tech stocks. That's confirmed by the NASDAQ 100 stocks, the Qs, showing that money's coming out and they're getting weaker. So it's telling you right now, if you're going to be chasing these tech stocks and you're addicted to it, you better be very, very careful here. Now, but guess what? If you're with me, we're celebrating this because this means we're going to get ready to sell the Qs short. We're going to make money on the way down. So the fear for my members is gone. They don't have the fear when they're in a stock. Oh, my God, the stock's going to go down. Oh, my God, I just bought Microsoft. What's going to happen if they turn around and go down because the Qs aren't doing well? My members don't care, because if the Qs aren't doing well, which they're not, the color codes tell us money's being pulled out by the institutions, the big insurance companies, the big hedge funds are pulling money out now. So if you got into Microsoft or Apple, you better be careful. But my members are going to look at it and say, I don't care either way, because if it goes down, I'm going to make money. If it goes up, I'm going to make money. Until you can get to that position, you should not be in the stock market, because you're buying a car with forward and no reverse. Even worse, you're speculating. You're going to a store and you're going to buy a suit for $200, and then you're going to take that suit, go out in front of the store, and try to sell it for $400. That's exactly what you're doing in the stock market when you don't know what you're doing. You're speculating. Why would you can't win when you speculate? You can't. I don't care if it's in Vegas or in the stock market. You can't win if you speculate. That's why it's important to stay with just a few major stocks. If you run all year long more than 5 or 6 stocks, you're out of your mind. Now, we do bonus stocks too, of course. But if you stay with the 5, 6 same major stocks where all the money goes, and you wait for this information I just talked about come to you, and you have the skill, the same skill to go short as you do long, you're going to love what you're doing, and it becomes fun. But the other problem right now, most people don't understand. You know where a lot of the money, they're all wasting their time on the tech stocks. You know where a lot of money is going to be made? It's going to be made in gold, silver, and a lot of money is going to be made what I call my COVID-19 stocks. The airlines, like Southwest Airlines, the cruise lines, Carnival Cruise Line, ALK, Alaska Air Group. And we're also going to make a lot of money in the casinos and the hotels. A lot of money we're going to be making. Those are going straight down. We're going to make a lot of money on the way back up. That's right, call our COVID-19 stocks. The other stock group we're going to make a lot of money in is our gold mining stocks, and also our oil stocks that are getting killed. Our drillers, our refiners, all these stocks that are getting tortured are going to be fantastic opportunities. But no, you go right to the tech stocks. What are you, nuts? I'll be right back with more.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativeGroup.com.
License number A1900020.
Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market is still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Listen to this.
I don't think you get a major collapse. I think this is being socialized. You will get some pullback, and you should, because we are at bubblish level in certain places because of this massive liquidity. But I don't think this is a collapse situation.
Really? You know, you should say, when you're in a position and you hear a dope say something like that, you should say, it doesn't matter to me if we're in a collapse situation or if we're not. If we're not, then I'm going to continue to buy the strongest groups. I'm going to put my stops in. And I'll also know when money is coming out of those stocks. So if they do correct, I'll be able to make money on the way down. See, once you get that position, it's worth it to get there. You don't have a lot of studying. Don't have to come to class. You don't have to know about the dojis and the different names of the candlestick. No, all you have to do is look at a candlestick. Is it green, red, or yellow? It's that simple. And every day at 2 o'clock for our members, we post our portfolio. And we tell you exactly what to do with each stock in a portfolio. Here's Steve today.
All right, Goldman Sachs, continue this one. We're going to actually add to this one. We can add to this long today.
So you tell him to add to it. He goes along, tells him why, how come. Who does that for you? Nobody. All you hear when things start going back is this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it. Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
See, that's Wall Street, and this is what people don't realize about the Federal Reserve. That was the worst thing ever, because the Federal Reserve is not there to help you and me. And when you got the Federal Reserve, the only way you can make money in the stock market, why 85% of you lose money, because of the Federal Reserve. They're a bunch of gangsters. They developed the Federal Reserve as a tool for creating, government debt. That's what it was done. Because the more debt the government has, what it does is slowly drains our national wealth, which ends up in the pockets of the elitist owners, the top 1% and the 1/100th of 1% who are our actual owners. And they're not nice guys.
You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets.
Yeah, he's right. He's got it right. That's who the owners are. And what they did, if you go back and think about how the Federal Reserve was started, it's unbelievable. The inception of the Federal Reserve started in 1910 by a group of the 6 richest men in the world. Richest men in the world, 6. One was a senator. They controlled 25% of the world's wealth. And one senator, Eldridge, he was writing the bill on behalf of his other 5 buddies. And they lied when they promoted their bill, the central bank bill. He told Americans the purpose of this bill, having a central bank in the United States, was to stabilize the economy. That the central bank would print money, then lend it to government and charge interest, claiming this would release the grip that the big banks, who they hated back then in 2010, and it would be everything would be great. That's what they're claiming. Look, if you do the central bank, we'll print all this money, we'll lend it to government. Yes, they have to pay some interest to us, but that would release the grip that the big banksters have on the economy and the government. That was a lie. Now, the problem they had, these 6 guys who were trying to sell this, they were the same exact people, the wealth, Wall Street banksters, that they were claiming that they were going to get rid of. It was so bad, they had to change the name of the bill. Remember, it was the Senator Eldridge bills. And back in 1910, unlike today, Americans knew what a central bank were back then in 1910, unlike today. Why? Because many of them came from Europe. They were immigrants. And remember, central banks over there started in 1688. They understood how bad central banks were for the people, for the guy in Main Street, and how they were so responsible for income inequality. And they also knew that they artificially created booms, and then they would make sure the thing would bust, and after each bust, the guy on Main Street would be poor, but the 1 percentile would be richer. That was the purpose of the Federal Reserve, for the rich to get richer. So they had to rename the bill. So Senator Eldridge renames the bill. He calls it the Federal Reserve Bill. That's where it got its name. And he decided not to sponsor it himself. He and his partners paid another senator $2 million to go in and sponsor the bill. And here's the other thing. In the news media, they were pretty clever. They knew how people hated the banks. So they said, they went on and they put all articles in and everything, how the banks really supported, how the banks hated a central bank, how they hated a central bank, which wasn't true. That's what these guys. It was a bait and switch. It was reverse psychology, and it worked. So they took out ads and everything else to say the banks didn't want a central bank. And they said, gee, if the banks don't want a central bank, that's got to be good. And they started writing their congressmen telling them, hey, pass the Federal Reserve bill, because if the banks like it, if the banks don't like it, then it's got to be good. So my point is, this thing passed in December 1913. You know how they had to pass it? They put in the bill, they passed it in the middle of a cold December night in 1913, okay, when it was near the holiday. Nobody was around. It was a freezing night. They got this thing through, and before they put it through, they put in these statutes that would say that they wouldn't have all the power. Basically, they wouldn't have all the power. They be protected. These guys wouldn't have all the power of the Federal Reserve. And in the middle of the night, no one around, just like a handful of people who were supporting the bill, got it through. As soon as it passed, they pulled those out. They pulled those little amendments out. Now think about it. If it was that corrupt in forming the Federal Reserve, how could it be good for us? It's not. It's not. Think what they had to do. They had to change the name. They had to pay a guy $2 million, another senator, to bring it through. And it's all about one thing. making the rich richer. And every decision the Federal Reserve makes is for that, not Main Street. But see, my members don't care, because whatever decision they make, first of all, the Federal Reserve creates debt slaves. That's the idea. It does create debt slaves. Why do you think each one of us, each individual in the United States, our portion of our national debt of $28 trillion is $86,000 each. $86,000 each. How could that be any good? And you say, well, I don't get a bill. Yes, you do. When you go to the gas pumps and you're upset about the cost. When you go get a prescription drug filled, you're upset about the cost. When you go buy meat, you're upset. You go buy groceries, you're upset. Yes, you are getting billed. And the national debt gets bigger and bigger. Why? To make the rich richer and richer. And then at some point, here's what they do. They create the bust. What's that mean? Well, they know, like all the stimulus we have going on right now, and all the enhancement checks that are going out right now, got 7 million people on them, that keeps pushing the market up. But it also keeps pushing prices up. And they know at some point the guy on Main Street no longer can afford to buy anything because his pay's not going up. So then they turn the switch to bust. And then when it busts, they bring it all the way back down again, and they start all over, creating another bubble. But see, you shouldn't have to care. If you're going to be invested in the stock market, you're never going to make money in your 401k because you're never going to get out in time. You're never going to get out in time before it busts. I don't know anybody who got out of their 401k before the dot-com crash. I don't know anybody who got out of their 401k before the housing boom bust. They don't, because people just stay in. They don't want to get out. They think that they're going to be so rich. But if you could get to that point where it doesn't matter to you anymore what the Federal Reserve does. It doesn't matter if they make the market go up on a boom and back down on an artificial bust. You get to that point, there's nothing better than the stock market, because there's nowhere can you make the money that you can make in the stock market. But you got to get rid of that fear. You got to get rid of that fear about making money as the market goes down, what we call shorting the market. And we'll get you out of that fear. Test us for 10 days. It's free, for God's sakes. Be open-minded about it. But once you get rid of that fear, the market goes down and you don't care which way it goes, what a difference it makes in your financial life. Believe me, to have to depend on the market going up and always picking the right stock, what are you, nuts? Join my gang. Go to philsgang.com.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.